What's up guys, it's Egbert here, and today we're going to be looking at the top 10 rides at Thorpe Park. So next up we have the Walking Dead ride, The Ride, and pretty much you might as well name this Walking in a Corridor, The Ride, because it's made up of so many corridors, as you will see. Pretty much it was originally named X, and basically that was pretty much the best ride in the park. It was kind of a joke going around, but it was really good ride when it was X. They've kind of like ruined it now. In my opinion, I prefer X, but this ride, it's decent. It's got good theming, but it's just made up quite of a lot of corridors, as you will see. Ride's not changed. It's the same. It's a family coaster as well, so it doesn't really fit with the theme. It's a family ride, so it's not like anything special. At the end, you've got some actors, which is quite fun. You probably have maybe 4 or 5 at the end. It can be good. If it doesn't have actors, it's meh. It's once you've rode it, I'm not really bothered about riding it again. If it was extra, that'd be a different story, of course. And pretty much quite hard if you want to re-ride this thing a lot. For some reason, it's quite hard to do it because it takes about 5 minutes to walk out the exit. So yeah. Walking Dead ride, it's a solid ride, nothing too special, and yeah, that's it. Next up, at number 8, we have Samurai. This is a Mondale top scan. It's pretty much the only one I've been on. However, this is a crazy ride. However, it can depend on which seats you get. They're kind of a bit random. Sometimes you get a really good ride, and sometimes you get a alright ride. So if you get a really good ride, this is a really good ride. Gets a bit crazy, of course, as you can see. Lots of flipping and spinning. Good ride. Gets some flips in as well. And the throughput is decent, I'd say. However, the most annoying bit is that you have to have 15 people to ride. So if it is a really quiet day and the park's dead, you have to go around saying who wants to ride this ride, and yeah, it gets a bit annoying. But yes, it's firmly at number 9. So next up we have the Detonator, and this is a drop tower. It's quite a good one, I'd say. What I like to do is to loosen my restraint a bit so I get the max amount of potential it has, because when that drop goes, you are all the way out of your seat. Yeah, once again, really good drop ride. Doesn't get that much of a queue. Probably maybe normally 15 minutes, so isn't that bad. And yeah, as you can see right now, it's quite fast, and you're all the way out of your seat. This sits firmly at number 8. Next up we have Rush, and pretty much this is a really big swing from your local park. However, it packs in a punch, and despite it having quite a short cycle, it provides a good thrill. When you're at the top of that, you'll get a lot of airtime. You'll probably think that you're going to fly out when you get to the top, and yeah, it's really high. Yeah, overall really good ride. However, it can get a long queue, so you have to be careful. So if you want to ride it, I'd say it's probably worth maybe 25-minute queue at the max, because it's a short cycle. So yeah, firmly sits at number 7. So next up we have Darren Brown's Ghost Train. This is again a good ride. However, it's only good if the effects work. At the start, you'll have a pre-show. Pretty much, it's just Mr. Eggman giving you a little pre-show of talking about fear or something like that. Then you'll go out and into the train thing. Victorian train, suspended on chains or something. I don't know why that it's suspended on chains. It's a bit weird, as I say. Then you'll go inside, and as you'll see, a modern train inside, and pretty much you'll put on a VR headset. I won't spoil it, but if you haven't read it, it's like 2 years old, so you should have read it by now. But yeah, put on a VR headset. As you'll see, there's people in there that probably touch your legs when you're watching the VR. Also, one of the cool effects that I found, that if it does work, it's when you're traveling on the train, as you're pretty much traveling on the train in the VR. You can like feel it going past like the tunnel and stuff, which is a really good effect, I'd say. However, when I was riding the second half, the audio wasn't working, and it was quite jokey because it was like, so at the second half you'll see like actual people, and there's no one sitting next to you, so I was just saying to my friend sitting next to me, "Hello, invisible man," because there's no one there, so I just joked about him. But it's not that scary, it's decent, and firmly sits at number 4. Next up we have Saw the Ride, and this is a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. The theme of it is once again really good. Inside bit is a little bit inside, and not like good, really good theme. It's got a spikes where you go down. It's quite a steep drop for the first drop inside. I don't know what the angle is, but it's quite steep. It feels quite steep, and you narrowly miss the spikes, which is again gets the people screaming. Then you'll go into like a barrel roll. Well, you're going to turn, then go into a barrel roll outside of the building. Then you got the signature bit of the vertical lift hill into the vertical drop, narrowly missing some spikes again, which is a casual theme. And then pretty much go into like an Immelman or whatever, and then an overbank turn, which I find really good as well, and then to an airtime hill, and that's pretty much the only good bit of the ride, because from there it just goes downhill, because you're going to a turn and into the mid-course brake run, and you'll probably be begging for it to slow you down, because you're probably going to break your neck in the next inversion, because that brake run, normally people think it's a bad thing if it slows you down, but however, if it does slow you down, which it doesn't, it's a good thing, because that means you're somewhat not break your neck as badly, because that is the roughest bit of the ride. I mean, they probably could have done something else with the layout to not make it as rough. I'm sure in 2009 when it opened it wasn't as bad, but however, once again, really good theme, as I said, and it firmly sits at number 5. So next up we have Colossus, and yes, I do prefer Colossus over Saw, and this is an Intamin 10 looper. It's a standard model, but it was the original. It did have the most inversions in the world, which is at 10, until the Smiler came along and beat it by 4, and now the Smiler's 14. It's got quite a repetitive layout, you could say. One vertical loop, an airtime hill, which is surprisingly good, a cobra roll, 2 corkscrews, and 5 barrel rolls. So some people would say this is quite a rough ride, but I say as long as you sit towards the front of the train and lean forwards, you just get minimal headbanging. You don't get that much. If you sit at the very front, it's quite smooth actually, which is surprising. And that quadruple barrel roll it's very weird. It's quite good bit of the ride, I'd say, one of the best, and it's very photogenic, as you can see later, where you can line up all of them in a row and you'll just see the train keep on spinning and spinning, and really good ride. Look, there's the shot, and firmly sits at number 4. Keeps them getting better. better. The 3-drop on the ride, some people think is the best one.
That's less scary, isn't it?
Thank you, Friday sitting on the queue line fence, please.
Okay, watch that.
Thank you.
I like roller coasters.
Next up at number 2, we have the Swarm, a B&M wing coaster. So pretty much this was the original wing coaster in the UK, the first of its kind, and still is. It was also the first to have, the wing over drop, which does get you really good hang time if you're at the front of the ride. There's no front row queue, which is good, so it doesn't add like an extra half an hour to your ride. If you're that dumb to queue for the front row. People complain it's a bit short. I'd probably say it probably had like another couple of elements in it with the speed it had. It's once again got a really good theme. The effects most of the time don't work because it's Thorpe Park, of course. You have some fire that goes off occasionally if they can be bothered to spend the money on it. You have the themes. You have some ambulances around, a plane, and the station's in like some sort of abandoned church. And also the plane is a really good head chopper moment, as well as the billboard, which you'll see. People complain also that it's a bit forceless. Which it can be at the front, but if you sit towards the back, you get a bit of force, I'd say. And yeah, as I said, really good coaster, and sits at number 2. And at number 1, it's a flying fish. Just kidding, it's Stealth. And this is an Intamin launch coaster. It's got the hydraulic launch. It goes 80 miles an hour in like 2.3 seconds, which is really good. It's got 205 feet actually tall. It's a bit of a one-trick pony, as you could say. It lasts about probably 12 seconds or something. I don't know. Haven't timed it. The queues on it, it's meh, probably like mid-tier, but I'd say it's probably, as I say, it's probably the best ride in the park in my opinion. Once again, I just like it because of the feel around it. You've got that, like, the personalised radio, which plays like some, like, I don't know, 60s music or 50s music. I'm not too sure where it's from, but you know, you've got like some lollipop music or whatever, I don't know. You've got pretty much the general vibe of the area I quite like, and it's themed to like pretty much 1950s or 60s cars on a highway or speedway or whatever they call it, and definitely say it sits firmly as the best ride in the park, until of course an RMC comes along. So you've come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'm surprised you've made it this far. So if you have, why don't you give this video a like and give me a subscribe. I do various different things on the channel, do some theme parks, and I do some other stuff, maybe like, I don't know, so just subscribe, you won't regret it, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.